What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So we're finally back on Dueling Book. Between life, work, the kids, and well, YouTube, we are really busy and it's hard to get on here. A lot of the time we do a lot of our playing on EDO Pro because it's just so much faster. You don't have to deal with the players waiting, all kinds of things like that. Before we get on into it, guys, if you're looking for playmats because you actually do remote duels, you know, I hear people like to do that. Click some of the links down below. Those guys have amazing playmats. Otherwise, if remote duels aren't your thing and you want to play online, come join Dragon Rider Games. Link down below. We have the best online tournaments. We have prizes like Zeus, Access Code, Prosperity, all these high-end meta staples that you want, and you can get them for a fraction of the price. All you gotta do is win a couple games. Additionally, the DCS3 is coming soon. More details to follow. So come join that group and play, hang out with me, things like that. It's really awesome, really fun. And without further ado, your featured presentation today. Cyber Dragon versus the meta. So we have 3 replays here today. The first one we're going to take on Invoked Shadal. I don't believe there's any Dogmatica package in this one, but we're going to get right on into it. So here we see our starting hands. He's going first, and he has Terraforming, Shadal Fusion, Nibiru, Schism, and Ash Blossom. So really not that great of an opening hand because like he's got his starter, but that's basically it. Like, he's in a lot of trouble if I have any disruption, which I do. I have Overload Fusion, Cyber Emergency, Core, so that's just crazy right there. Then Bell and Ash. Bell, we are debating on playing either Bell, Crow, or Lancia in the main. Between those 3, debating which ones are going to get the slot. I want to try out Crow and Lancia a little more. Not that Bell's been bad in testing, I just think the other 2 might have a little more high impact uses in the current meta game. The list will come for you guys, but for right now I'm gonna not reveal it because I have a big tournament for a place at a Triple Tactics Talent coming up any day now, and I'm gonna take the list in there and see what we can do. So jumping right on into it, he's going to use the Terraforming. We let it go through. I never hit the Terraforming. Then we Ash the Meltdown, and I heard typically they're supposed to open Invocation, or Alistair and Invocation, like any way to play through your Ash, but he just happens to not. So here we use the emergency to try and bait out something. Assuming he has a negate. I always try to assume they have a negate, so we go for the hers. Now we're going to go for Repair Plant because like I just assume my machine dupe's not going to resolve, and lo and behold, he had the Ash. So now we go ahead, Galaxy Soldier things. We're playing through the Ash, no problem, because it does not matter. And we still have our Bell if we need it. So Galaxy Soldier things, he drops Nibiru on the 4th summon, quick discussion, and then he decides to drop it on Nova, which, I mean, he pretty much has to, because if he doesn't at that point, I'll make Infinity and OTK anyway. So there we get our token from Nibiru, and we go into a Makaba off of our Nova floating, because we had Overload Fusion in hand, meaning we could already make Rampage. There's no point bringing out Rampage. If we really wanted, we could go into a Link Spider here and then go into a Dragoon and have a negate anyway. But the way I saw it, he already opened 2 hand traps, like, and clearly his hand wasn't the greatest, so I assume like Fusion Spell in hand. But he already had 2 hand traps. Like, it's not likely to open 3, even if you're playing like 14. 3 is not common to open, so we just do that and we get the game 1 win. Try and move through these a little quicker. We have 3 full match replays for you guys today. Game 2, he forced us first. Pot of Prosperity. We go 3 a lot of the time. So like here, I went with Starving Venom, Mega Fleet, and Nova. We're playing 2 Nova, and Mega Fleet I feel is kind of lackluster in this specific matchup. I love Super Poly, guys. The card's crazy right now, but I'm not too worried about it as far as Starving Venom. Could have left it in. I guess I was at this point under the assumption still I was thinking Invoke Dogmatica, so I was not thinking like Winda in that regards, because I'd stop his play way before we get to that point. But then we go ahead and we get our card. Oh, then we set our Super Poly, Alistair effect, and keep in mind too, like if we say I had Cyber Dragon here and a spell in hand because you're going to need to negate the invocation, and he summons Alistair, you can Super Poly your Cyber Dragon and his Alistair before he can actually, you know, get them and summon your own Makaba. And then when he tries to invocation, because there's a light in your graveyard and his Alistair, you can discard a spell and banish the invocation, which could actually really hurt their play. But lo and behold, that does not happen here, so we take some damage. His hand game 2 is actually pretty nuts. He's all 3 meltdowns. He's got, you know, 2 Alistair already. He's got Shaddoll Fusion, Dark Ruler. Like, he opened really, really well. We have another Super Poly. Special Summon, we're going to go for a Fortress. There's no point in doing anything else at that point in time. Hands is really awkward. We can't do a whole lot. So, we're not going to be able to win, but we can go into a Dragoon. Then Dark Ruler, so that definitely hurts a lot. But Alistair, he's going to get there and get his Macabre, Shaddoll Fusion, go into Construct. Let him keep going off, and he actually drew into his own Super Poly, so that hurt to make his own Winda. Then here, I guess we miscommunicated. I thought the Winda had attacked, and it was actually the Macabre that attacked, but he never ended up correcting me. So we kind of got past it, I guess, there. So Super Poly coming in pretty clutch there, but he had the quick play in hand to summon another Shaddoll regardless. Game 3 now. So we open Pot, Cyber Dragon, Hers, Red Eyes, and Super Poly again versus Ash, Hedgehog, Foolish, Fusion, and Fusion. I opted to go first. I opt to go first a lot, actually. So once again, like I said, Intis, Panzer, Link Spider. So, like, this hand's not going to play into Nibiru anyway, so I didn't want that. Panzer Dragon, he's not running dragons, but so I don't need that as my Super Poly target. Crazy target, by the way. And then the one Intis, he's not playing Dogmatica, so there's no point in keeping the Intis here. So that's why we send those 3 cards for the specific matchup. We get double core, so that's always really nice. Unfortunately, though, our hand does not play through a single Ash, but we can set our Super Poly. Here, he uses his Shaddoll Fusion, and he's got 2 in hand. I'm just kind of hoping at this point, like, if he had a different, like, Shaddoll monster, he would have to summon it using his Beast in that card. But he had the Light Spellcaster, and we have a Light Machine, so I'm assuming he's going for his Construct play and keep comboing off there. So we Super Poly away his Artemis with our core and stop it, and we do happen to get lucky that he had 2 spells in his hand and he could not do anything. And then we drew into Emergency, core, and now we're just going to pop off. So this will be the first game. First time watching these replays with you guys. Obviously I played there, but yesterday was a long time ago, and I don't always remember how they go. But yeah, so Super Poly's been really, really good to us. We haven't seen our awesome side deck card that we're playing, but yeah, so we're going to jump right on into the second one where we're playing against Eldlich Dragoon, actually Buster Blader too, interesting. So Prologue, Hakiro, Ash, Prologue, and Eldlich. We have Cyber Dragon, Ash, Cyber Dragon, Jizukiru, and Instant Fusion. So neither one of us really opened that great. I mean, he has Prologue, but it's not going to do a whole lot on its own. Hakiro and the Sanguine, so he does have a line of play. He sets 1 of each, keeps the 1 in hand. Instant Fusion, we're going to go here and play it a little awkward, Panzer, and then set our Overflow because he doesn't even have a monster, so he can't really do a whole lot. Next play, End Phase, Panzer Dragon gets destroyed. We did it this way because we're just going to try and pop some of his back row. So Panzer Dragon pops and he chains, which that's actually the one we went for, so that kind of hurts. But he uses Sanguine, we pitch Ash. Then he gets the Hakiro. So now he draws into another Ash. Once again, he opened really, really awkwardly poor here. But he makes a Verde, so on summon, we make sure we get rid of that. He resets himself up again, but at least now we got a few cards we can pretend, well, try to play the game. Not sure why I keep trying to say pretend. But anyway, then he has the World Chalice Dragon that he uses his Hakiro or Conquistador for to get it in the graveyard, and now he Buster Locks us. Luckily, we had the Kaiju, so we special summon, goes to defense. No more dragons, not too worried about that. He popped our Cyber Dragon, we go into core, but there's really nothing we could have did there, so we lost game 1. Eldlich, Buster Blader, Dragoon, so interesting. But anyway, so game 2, he opens Judgment, Elixir, Whelp, Prison, and Conquistador. Like I said, I like to go first, personally, a lot of time post-siding. I think our deck does it really well. And even a lot of time if I win the die roll, I actually choose to go first a lot because our deck might not be like the greatest going first, but I feel like if we can set up like Infinity Dragoon hand trap or Infinity Dragoon overflow or even like Infinity Overflow hand trap, something like that, it's actually enough versus most of the top decks. So I actually don't mind going first at all. So here we opened basically insane. He has no disruptions. We have absolutely everything we could want. We got double machine dupe if he's got Ash. We got overload. We got prosperity. We got overflow. We search our overflow, but we got our core. Like, we just completely have anything and everything we could want. So we're gonna go into an Infinity Dragoon, saving our overload fusion for our next turn. Prosperity. Since we already went through our extra deck, basically we got what we need. All we want left is Rampage, so that's why I went for 6, because we're just really going to dig for cards. And now you get to see the spice. Silent Graveyard. This card is insane, guys. Play it. Like, play it. It's crazy. As long as you're going up against, you know, Eldlich, Dinosaur, Dragon Link, Prank Kids, Invoked, Dogmatica, you know, Shaddolls. So any of those decks, if that's what you kind of expect to play against, you know, anything tier 1 or tier 2, they kind of rely on their graveyard. So card's crazy. Putting our cards back. This is already a good game. We got Overflow, Silent Graveyard, Infinity Dragoon. He already knows it too. So pop 2, no graveyard, multi-negates is gonna win a lot of the time. So we saw him open Strike, Hakiro, Judgment, Dark Magician, and Memories. This deck can get a little clunky, so I'm not too surprised. We open Red Eyes again, Overflow, Machine Dupe, Prosperity, Core. Prosperity loves us, and I love it. So I don't care about battle damage or winning, or I care about winning, not battle damage, not OTKing. So basically baiting out like an Ash here. Worst case scenario, he has a Droll, and then we get Drolled, and then we can just like normal Naxter and summon Machine Dupe, and then we go into like Almirage, and then we would have like Nova detach Cyber Dragon, summon Naxter, bring back Cyber Dragon. Like, we have so many lines of play. I mean, don't lock yourself into machines like that example, but you get the point. So anyway, we go for the Prosperity, and he judgments it actually. Then we normal core, and he hits it with a Solemn Strike. So we got 2,500 left. Kinda hurts, but we discard Red Eyes, special summon the Naxter, and we have dupe, and then he just. So anyway, that was number 2, and we got one more replay for you guys. This one is against Dinosaurs. So we beat Invoked Shaddol, we beat Eldlich, and now we have Dinosaurs. These are, you know, 3 of the top handful of decks that are really good. So he opens Extravagance, Oviraptor, Conductor, Gamma, and Baby. You know, why not? So Extravagance, I don't like my opponent getting that free advantage. Here, it really wouldn't have mattered, though. Even if we ashed it and he didn't have the Gamma, he has Ovi and Baby anyway. So his hand's just really insane, and he's going to combo off regardless of having that Gamma. And he drew into another Oviraptor, so his follow-up turn, and a Forbidden Droplet for an extra one. Like I said, even if he didn't have that Gamma, he's still going to make a Conductor, Dolka, and Forbidden Droplet with ease. Like, it's... The deck's crazy. Dinos are super good. Since he opened the Conductor, though, he actually went for Pankratops, which is pretty smart there, too. And he has Lambda, which now Gamma's going to get banished, and then Lambda's going to search out another Gamma. So, he could have set Forbidden Droplet, but I assume he's saying that Dolka twice, Conductor, Pankratops, and Gamma is enough, which he's not necessarily wrong. So, it's not always like I guess setting the droplet's kind of redundant here because he's got so many monster negates already, so it makes sense to keep it. We special summon Cyber Dragon, and he's going to lose his Lambda, which means he loses his Gamma, so that's why he's going to chain Pankratops, because he's got the multiple disruptions. Anyway, he can Gamma, he can Dolka, he can do whatever to negate my hand traps or anything. So he uses his Pankratops, targets the Cyber Dragon, but once again, Super Poly card is crazy, guys. This card is insane. This card is amazing. And so you saw Panzer Dragon before. Dolka and Cyber Dragon makes Panzer Dragon. Conductor and Cyber Dragon makes Mud Dragon. So we actually have 2 targets versus Dinos. We clear that out, we summon our Mud Dragon. Now we're just going to attack over the Lambda. So just like that, all we have to deal with now is the Dolka. But unfortunately, he had the Oviraptor off his Extravagance, and Dino do what Dino do, draws Miscellaneosaurus for turn. So yeah, there's not a whole lot we're gonna be able to do here. He's gonna take game 1 pretty handily. Game 2, I actually choose to go second a lot of the time versus Dinos. I have enough going second power cards to stop Dino, but once again, he opens Extravagance, Baby, Lost World, Pill, Miscellaneosaurus. Like, their hands are just always crazy good. Luckily, we have Lancia. Once again, like I said, Prosperity loves us today. Core, Overflow, and Naxter. So he draws Extrav and Droll. Lancia, once he pitched the Miscellaneosaurus, we went to Lancia, and it ended his turn. So usually when they pitch it, it means one of 2 things. Either they don't have their play that they want in hand yet, or they have Gamma. And I was taking the risk that he didn't open Gamma twice, so it paid off, and we got it. So this matchup, we just banished Venom, Intis, and Makaba. Just kind of like, he's not going to pop my Nova. He's not going to do anything to that, so I don't need Makaba. Intis isn't going to come up because he's not, you know, he doesn't have the Dogmatic up, Maximus play, and he doesn't really have Darks. We got 2 other Super Poly targets, so we don't need that. But anyway, we send them 3, and oh, sorry, the Lancer is already there. We grab our Skullmeister, my bad, and then we get hit by a Droll, which is actually perfect because it gets a card off his hand. We're not worried about it as much, and well, we have Red Eyes Fusion. We're not going for that play anyway. So we summon our Dragoon, attack. He does the 25, but I remind him that it only does half damage. Now he has Extravagance once again. Of course he does. It's Dinosaur, banishing Miscellaneosaurus. I didn't use Skullmeister here because I didn't know what his hand was and everything. And if he summons the Archosaur and pops Baby, I can just destroy the Baby and prevent Oviraptor from hitting the field. And then I still have my Dragoon negate anyway for like the pill that he gets off of his Archosaur, which is exactly what I go to do. And he knew it, so he couldn't do anything about it. Game 3, I expected him to go second. He did not. He went first, and that really put a damper on my plans, because had I gone first with this hand, it's good game, it's over with. Like Prosperity, okay, bait the Ash, even bait the Droll, because I can normal hers, machine dupe, and right there I'll get Infinity Dragoon and still have Silent Graveyard. So like through Ash, through Droll, through both, doesn't matter, I was going to be able to go off on this turn. But he actually chose to go first, so Fossil Dig into Oviraptor, and he has Lost World and Miscellaneosaurus and Forbidden Droplet and Miscellaneosaurus, and then he searches Baby Ceratosaurus. Dinos. Jeez. This deck's crazy. I can believe it didn't get hit. I don't know if it's that great, but it's, I don't know. Miss at 3 is just so strong. So he ends with Conductor, Dweller, Dolka, Gardna, Forbidden Droplet, Lost World. I got my token. So I get no graveyard effects, so right there hers is nowhere near as good. Luckily, he doesn't really have any spell or trap removal negation, so we go and we get our Naxter just as a way to extend further if we need to, kind of depending on how we wanted to play it. And then we're just trying to bait out like a possible Ash, and we actually hit Super Poly not once but twice, which is crazy good because we don't even need to use our cards, but we do make the mistake of the matchup and cost us the match. Tyranno, Gardna, both are lights, Dino, and Cyber, so that means our Muddy Mud Dragon. Don't ask me why I pitched Silent Graveyard. Like, this is my side card, this is my win condition versus the deck. This is, I don't know why I discarded Silent Graveyard, but as it should, it costs me the game. Spoiler alert, we do end up losing. The right play would have been to discard the core, actually, because Silent Graveyard can discard the hers, which will get us the core right back anyway, and then we have core for our follow-up plus a draw. So anyway, we got our Mud Dragon, and then we go normal our Naxter, Machine Dupe, because he can't do anything about it, but he chains Forbidden Droplet, sending the useless Abyss Dweller. But luckily, we still have another Naxter in deck, so we still at least get something off of it. And then we go ahead and make a Mega Fleet so we can attack over the Dolka, and now we can go into our Dragoon, or our Verde, sorry, to get our Dragoon. So, I mean, I was still technically right. And here, had we had our Silent Graveyard, Dragoon might not have a negate, but with one card in hand, and, you know, the missing grave there, like, oh, I don't know why I did it that way. And, like, there's nothing he would be able to do if I had Silent Graveyard, because it turns off all the babies for the turn. You know, it turns off his Miscellaneosaurus. Like, that was just huge mistake on my part, and it's really unfortunate. But anyway, Miscellaneosaurus not negated. I mean, we negate it, but now he's gonna get Giant Rex anyway, get a token, has Miscellaneosaurus, makes Dolka attack it. I can't do anything to stop him, and now he's just gonna continue to go off once again, makes his Zeus, sends the field, and then makes a Tyranno. So Tyranno Zeus is what I'm staring down, and he actually has Droll in hand instead of me having won the game. So unfortunate. We draw a Galaxy Soldier, so that's not the worst thing ever. But at this point, like, he has 2 miss already banned. Baby Conductor, Archosaur, Graveyard, Ovi, 3rd miss, Petite. So all of his babies are gone. His Rex is gone. He's got 1 Oviraptor, 1 Archosaur, and Pankratops left. Like, that's it. So instead of going for, at this point, we could have went for hers, and had we grabbed hers, or emergency for hers, I mean, we could have, like, forced the discard on Tyranno, but there's really no way we would have been able, because if they're booked, they're not Cyber Dragon, and we can't actually get into them. But so then he's gonna continue to pop off. We're gonna get rid of them because we don't want his extra deck plays. He is gonna get the Pankratops and the Giant Rex, and when he attacks the token, he can't protect it because he has nothing in deck to do. Kaiju it, and then we do what we can, but it's not going to be enough when it's all said and done. So that's it for these 3. We definitely should have won all of them, but we didn't, and that's all we can do for today. Thanks for watching. Till next time.